If you've ever watched a woman slowly lose interest while you were doing everything right, your body already understands something your mind hasn't caught up to yet. Desire doesn't disappear because you weren't enough. It disappears because you tried too hard to be chosen. I'm speaking to you as a female psychologist, and I want you to hear this without defense. Most men are taught that attraction is built through effort. More attention, more validation, more proof of value. But female desire doesn't grow from effort. It grows from emotional tension, from polarity, from the feeling that a man is complete before she ever arrives. When a woman says she's not interested, she's not rejecting your potential. She's reacting to how you made her nervous system feel. Women don't decide attraction intellectually first. The body decides, then the mind justifies. If her body feels pressure, expectation, or need, it pulls away automatically. Not because she's cruel, because desire cannot exist where it feels responsible for your emotional state. Here's a truth most men never hear. The fastest way to kill attraction is to make a woman feel like she is your source of validation. The moment she senses that your confidence rises and falls based on her responses, her desire begins to shut down. Not consciously, instinctively. Her body reads it as imbalance. Attraction needs space. Emotional oxygen. When you overtext, overexplain, overpursue, you remove all uncertainty. And uncertainty is where desire lives. Predictability feels safe, but it's not seductive. A woman can respect a predictable man and still feel nothing for him. The men women desire are not chasing. They're choosing. Their attention feels intentional, not anxious. They don't rush intimacy. They don't push for reassurance. They don't try to lock her interest down early. And because of that, their presence feels rare. Most men think confidence is about dominance or bravado. It's not. Confidence is emotional self-sufficiency. It's the quiet knowing that you are okay even if she walks away. That energy cannot be faked. Women feel it instantly. When you stop trying to win her interest and start focusing on staying centered in yourself, something shifts. Your words slow down. Your body relaxes. Your eye contact changes. You're no longer asking for permission to be desired. You're simply allowing her to experience you. And here's the uncomfortable part. You cannot make a woman desire you if she senses that you need her desire. The need itself is the barrier. Desire moves toward men who are emotionally grounded, not emotionally hungry. This is where attraction actually begins. Not with what you say, not with what you give, but with who you are when nothing is being exchanged. And if you can stay right there, rooted, calm, unattached, you create the conditions where desire has room to wake up on its own. Most men misunderstand why women pull back. They assume it's a test, a game, or a sign they need to try harder. In reality, it's often a response to emotional overcrowding. When a woman feels like your focus is narrowing too quickly onto her, her instinct is to create distance, not to punish you, but to breathe again. Women are constantly reading emotional signals beneath words. They feel when a man is waiting for a reaction, when he's measuring his worth through her tone, her response time, her availability. That silent monitoring creates pressure, and pressure shuts desire down at the body level. She may still enjoy your company, still respect you, but attraction begins to thin out. Here's the part that challenges most men. Attraction doesn't grow when you try to close the gap. It grows when you're comfortable leaving it open. Emotional space is not absence. It's restraint. It's the ability to stay engaged without trying to control the outcome. When a man can do that, a woman's curiosity activates. She starts to lean forward internally, not because she's being pulled, but because she feels free to choose. This is where polarity comes in. Polarity is the tension between two grounded people. It disappears the moment one person collapses into the other. If you reshape your schedule, your opinions, your emotional state around her, you flatten the dynamic. You become easy to predict, and predictability feels emotionally dull, even if it feels secure. Women don't want to be impressed. They want to be affected. And emotional impact doesn't come from trying to win approval. It comes from presence. From a man who listens without rehearsing his response. From silence that isn't awkward because it isn't needy. From confidence that doesn't announce itself. A grounded man doesn't rush emotional intimacy. He allows it to develop naturally without pushing for definitions or reassurance. He doesn't punish a woman for being unsure, and he doesn't reward her uncertainty with extra effort. His emotional pace stays steady. That steadiness is disarming. When you stop trying to prove yourself, something subtle happens. Your attention gains weight. Your words land differently. A woman begins to feel that being close to you is a choice she must actively make, not a role she's expected to fill. That's when desire has room to form. This doesn't mean being distant or cold. It means being complete. You can be warm without chasing, interested without leaning forward, open without being exposed. That balance signals emotional maturity, and maturity is deeply attractive to women, even when they don't consciously label it that way. The truth is, you don't awaken desire by convincing a woman she should want you. You awaken it by becoming a man whose emotional world is already alive and full. When she senses that, her body responds before her mind ever catches up. And that response, that quiet internal pull, is where real desire begins. There's a moment that changes everything, and it usually happens when you stop performing and start inhabiting yourself fully. Women feel the difference immediately. Performance asks for approval, presence doesn't. Presence simply exists, and that existence becomes the invitation. Many men think desire is something they must activate in a woman, but desire isn't activated. It's allowed. It surfaces when a woman feels emotionally safe and emotionally stimulated at the same time. Safety without stimulation feels like friendship. Stimulation without safety feels unstable. The rare combination of both is what creates longing. Here's what women rarely say out loud. A man becomes attractive when he doesn't rush to claim emotional territory, when he doesn't push for closeness before it's mutual, when he allows connection to unfold instead of trying to secure it. That patience signals confidence far louder than any declaration ever could. A grounded man is selective with his emotional energy, not because he's withholding, but because he values it. He doesn't pour himself out to be accepted. He observes, he feels, he responds instead of reacts. That restraint creates intrigue because it tells a woman there is depth beneath the surface, depth that must be discovered, not handed over. When a woman senses that you are emotionally regulated, her body relaxes. And when her body relaxes, curiosity awakens. She starts wondering what it would feel like to be closer to you. Not because you pushed her there, but because she feels safe enough to explore the idea herself. This is where most men sabotage themselves. The moment they sense a shift, more warmth, more openness, they accelerate. They try to lock it in. They seek reassurance. They move faster than the emotional connection can hold. And in doing so, they collapse the polarity that created the attraction in the first place. Desire grows at its own pace. It needs space to breathe. When you respect that pace, you signal emotional intelligence. You show that you're not afraid of uncertainty, and uncertainty, when held calmly, becomes intoxicating. A woman doesn't want to feel managed. She wants to feel met. She wants to feel that you see her without trying to define her too quickly. When you allow her to show you who she is over time, she feels valued beyond surface-level attention. That kind of attention is rare, and rarity creates desire. There's another layer most men overlook: how you handle the possibility of loss. A man who can accept that a woman may or may not choose him without bitterness or collapse radiates quiet strength. That strength communicates, I want you, but I don't need to possess you. And paradoxically, that freedom makes a woman more inclined to choose you. You don't create desire by tightening your grip. You create it by loosening it, without letting go of yourself. When your sense of worth remains steady regardless of her response, you become emotionally solid ground. And from that ground, attraction can grow naturally, without force. This is what changes how a woman experiences you. Not your words, not your strategies, but the calm confidence of a man who is already whole and invites her to join, not complete, his world. Here is the final truth I want to leave you with, and it's the one that most men resist the most. You cannot negotiate desire. You cannot earn it through consistency, loyalty, or sacrifice. Desire is not a reward system. It's a response to energy, to emotional posture, to how a man stands in his own life. When a woman is not interested, the mistake is thinking something is missing in you. What's usually missing is not value, but direction. Men who are deeply attractive are moving towards something meaningful in their lives. A purpose, a craft, a mission, a standard. Women don't want to be the destination of a man's ambition. They want to walk alongside it. A man who knows where he's going doesn't ask a woman to give him direction. He doesn't shape his identity around her attention. His life already has momentum, and momentum is seductive. It signals that his energy is flowing outward into the world, not inward in search of validation. Women are drawn to men who respect themselves enough to walk away from situations that don't align. Not with anger, not with bitterness, but with calm acceptance. That communicates emotional abundance. It says, I choose connections that choose me back. And that boundary alone can completely change how a woman sees you. Here's the paradox. The moment you truly accept that a woman may never desire you, you become more desirable. Because now your actions are clean. Your interest is honest, not strategic. Your presence is grounded, not performative. You're no longer trying to extract something from her. You're simply sharing who you are. That's when attraction has room to grow. Not because you forced it, but because you stopped interfering with it. A woman's desire often awakens when she feels free around you. Free from pressure, free from expectation, free from responsibility for your emotions. In that freedom, her curiosity turns inward. She begins to ask herself questions instead of answering yours. And that internal questioning is the birthplace of desire. This doesn't guarantee every woman will want you. And that's the point. You are not here to be universally appealing. You are here to be deeply aligned with yourself. The right women don't respond to performance. They respond to presence. So stop asking how to make a woman desire you. Start asking who you are becoming when no one is watching. Start building a life that feels solid under your feet. Start choosing yourself with the same intensity you once used to seek approval. And now I want to ask you something personal. If you had to choose between being desired by everyone or respected by yourself, which one would you choose and why? Write your answer in the comments. I read them and they matter. If this video made you uncomfortable in a way that felt honest, like the video. Subscribe for more truths most people won't tell you. And share this with a friend who's still trying to earn desire instead of becoming the kind of man it naturally moves toward.